What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Fino Flash podcast featuring your homies. Obviously, it's me, Daddy Fino, baby. And of course, my co-host, the one and only JT Flash. JT, say what's up to the people.
What's up?
Well, how you doing, JT?
Man, summertime, mid-summertime, you could say. And you know, it's not here yet, but it's getting closer. And that is the NFL season. I'm excited for
Doesn't it feel like the NFL is like the older brother that's just been ignored because the new kid is out? Like you got a new baby. Like I feel like it's been so ignored right now. All the attention is given to the younger kid, the NBA, all the, definitely how it's like just so much craziness going on in the NBA. Nothing's happening in the NFL, and more people love the NFL than the NBA. As far as like in America at least, it's like America's pastime is football, right? I mean, so it's kind of crazy how the NFL it's just it feels like it's non-existent. Like I forgot the NFL was a thing during this summer. It's just really I haven't even thought about it. Maybe it's because I'm a Jets fan. I don't want to think about it. I don't know. It's just it's crazy, man. I mean, just look at the craziness that just happened. Russell Westbrook was just traded from OKC to Houston Rockets. Like, who would have thought that would have happened like a month ago?
No one, because a month ago, I mean, I don't think anybody thought Paul George was going to the Clippers. I mean, their whole team is basically dismantled.
Exactly. Like, they did a total rebuild in like a week. Like, usually you understand, like, at the end of the season, you're like, all right, well, we had our run, guys. But it's time to rebuild. We're obviously not going anywhere. But they had two superstar players at the end of the year, and then they're just gone like that. It's NBA. What are your thoughts about the Russell Westbrook thing?
It's him and Harden are reunited again, and I would say that Harden is a much different player this time around in terms of his, NBA stature. On the Thunder, he was considered the third best player when he was there, maybe second. But now, he's established himself as one of the better scorers in the game, one of the better offensive threats in the game. Everybody knows what Russell Westbrook can do in terms of, scoring and the triple-double averaging. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think, the Thunder or the Rockets get way better offensively because, they were already good offensively. They might get a little bit better on the defensive end because I think Westbrook's a little bit better of a defender right now than Chris Paul is. But, we'll have to see. It'll be interesting.
You said things, and you said some things I definitely agree with. I mean, defensively, I think they are better. Russell Westbrook is not known for his defense, but he's kind of like a two-way player. He can play defense. I love his intensity on defense. And then, the thing about offense, how, they can't get too much better. They're really, really great at offense. I kind of agree with that. I just think that they can add way more elements now that you do have Russell Westbrook. That also gives the Rockets an opportunity to kind of rest Harden, so he doesn't have much of the responsibility. So I really like this team. I made a bold prediction. I had told some friends this, and I'm just going to air it out now so everyone knows. I think that the Houston Rockets, after this trade, deserve to be a top 3 championship contending team. Up there with the 2 LA teams. I think most people in, Vegas and all that have the LA teams as like the favorites, which they definitely deserve to be. I think you can now throw the Rockets in that. And I think now it's a 3-team basically it's a 3-team race to see who wins the championship. Those are my top 3. I will put Clips first, Lakers, and then Rockets. But I really love this move. I think it was perfect. And I joked about it on that I play 2K. I played 2K with this roster, and I beat the Warriors by 30. So if I can make it work on 2K, I mean, I feel like they can make it work in real life. That's just me, then. That's just me. But, But this is not an NBA episode, JT.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not. And we had to do that little brief thing because that was huge news. But this is actually an NFL episode. In fact, for the next 6 Sundays, we will always have an NFL episode because we're going to be doing something a little different, guys. We are going to be talking about and breaking down each division in the NFL. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, there's 8 divisions, 6 Sundays. You said 6. How's that going to work? Well, the way we're going to do it is we're going to be ranking all the NFL divisions from worst to best. And for the first 2 weeks, we're going to talk about we're basically going to be talking about 2 divisions for the first 2 weeks. And then the last 4 weeks, we'll have, 1 division at a time because those are going to be the better divisions. So we definitely want to spend more time on the better divisions. Now, we won't tell you, what divisions are that we're going to be talking about each week. We don't want to spoil our ranking. But it's going to be pretty great. We're going to have some special guests on our episodes. So I guess a way for our guests to defend their team if we talk bad about them. And we'll get into more details about that later on. But like I said, we are starting with the worst division, and we'll be ranking up. So, JT, how about you tell them what's the worst division in football? Now, real quick, we did agree on these rankings. This is me and JT sat down, we talked about it, and these are our rankings. So what's our worst one? What did we come up with?
And this is no disrespect. We're not trying to, make any fans out there mad, but we agreed that the NFC West right now, we're not based off of, everything that's went on the past year is the worst division in football. You had two of the worst teams in the NFL with the 49ers and the Cardinals in the same division. Now, they did have 2 playoff teams last year, but, the Seahawks snuck in at 10-6, So we picked them because, the 49ers and the Cardinals were 2 of the worst teams last year in the NFL. And they played in the same division. It's kind of hard not to beat that.
And that's definitely true. Last year, you mentioned it. Rams won this division last year. They obviously went to the Super Bowl. It was due to controversy, but they did make it to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots. Rams won the division 13-3. Seahawks 10-6 were a wild card team. San Fran ended up with 4-12, and the Cardinals were 3-13. So how about we start from the bottom of that list? The Arizona Cardinals. There's a team, they got a new head coach at the number 1 pick. They basically are in full rebuild. They're obviously still led by their 36-year-old Larry Fitzgerald. He's still on the team. He's going to try to be like a mentor to the mass amount of rookies and young players that they basically drafted and signed over the last couple of months. What are your thoughts about the Cardinals this year?
Well, like you said, they're rebuilding. We're not going to get to see obviously a final roster of who's there until after training camp. Late preseason. It's kind of obvious on some teams. Players are going to be there because they're established veterans. This team, as I'm looking over their roster, I wouldn't really say they have a lot of established veterans or players that have definite roster spots. Kyler Murray is not going anywhere. Obviously, he's a number 1 draft pick out of Oklahoma. So I don't expect a whole lot from the Cardinals this year because they are going to be learning. I would probably put them around the same number of wins and losses this year. So they're really rebuilding for the future. But what about you?
Well, I question the Cardinals. I question them top to bottom. Pretty much, and when I say the top, I'm not talking about quarterback. I'm actually going higher than that. I mean head coach. Cliff Kingsbury, from Texas Tech, has his air raid offense. I think that the air raid offense is more of a college style. It should stay in college. And although, I mean, the man knows how to coach offense. I think that's something that, I think that's an obvious. I would be lying if I said he was a terrible offensive coach. I mean, his offenses throughout the years, they averaged like 550 yards a season, almost like 40. I think it was like 42. I'm rounding up, 42 points a game, throughout his whole college coaching career, whether he was being a coordinator or if he was a head coach. But the only thing is that, his records they're not that good. I mean, he's only 35-40.
That's actually just average. It's not. I wouldn't call it good at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not good it's not good. So I don't get it. He's 1935 in his own conference, the Big 12, as a head coach. 3 straight losing seasons. Excuse me. I mean, I get it if they're going for, they want to trend towards the offense. But it doesn't seem that his offense leads to victories as much as, some of the other great offenses in the NFL. Something like the Rams, for example. A team in their own division who's killing it on offense from top to bottom. I just don't see how Cliff is going to basically change Cardinals. Now, yeah, they got Kyler Murray with the number 1 pick. Kyler Murray was the Heisman. Kyler Murray is he's not just a guy with an arm. He can also obviously run the football. Had 1,000 yards rushing. I think did he have 5,000 yards passing, or was it was like over 4,000? I don't remember.
It was close. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
It was. Let's just say he had close to 5,000 yards. It was pretty. He's a good quarterback. I don't know what he'll be in the NFL, but he's really on the small side. I think he's only like 6 feet, maybe.
And let's not forget that. And this doesn't have anything to do with the NFL, but you say he's small and all that. Don't forget he was considering going to professional baseball before he even entered the draft. So
that is true. He was going to be a high pick in the baseball draft, if I remember right, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was like number 1 or anything, but I definitely know he was high pick. And that's that just speaks to his athleticism. You know, he I think that he can be. I think he can be really good. It's just that his size and stature, it scares me a bit, just because it only takes that one hit, and that's for anybody. It doesn't matter the size, but it just increases that the probability that he can get hurt. He's done really well in college of moving his feet and getting away from avoiding the hit pretty much his whole career. But this is NFL. You're playing with great talent all around. Way better talent than he's ever faced. It's gonna be tough. I'm not. They don't have the best offensive line. They don't have even on receivers. Their receivers are very, very questionable. Besides Larry Fitzgerald, you gotta love Larry Fitzgerald, but he is 36 years old. You got Christian Kirk, who showed definitely that he has potential to be a really good receiver. But after that, all they have is rookies and just pickups to fill out the rest of the roster. So I don't know how their offense is going to be be honest. I mean, maybe their rookies turn out to be better than I'm thinking, but it's just going to be.
Well, they do have Kevin White at receiver, who has made plays in the past for Chicago.
He's a bust.
So, I mean, I'm not saying he's great, but I think after Larry Fitzgerald, I think he's one of the most credible receivers on their roster. But I agree, they don't have a lot of talent really around Kyler Murray. I mean, they have T.J. Logan, who I wouldn't consider a great running back by any means, but he's a name coming out of North Carolina. They have David Johnson, obviously. So,
and that's a big point. David Johnson. How are they going to use David Johnson? Last year, he was barely really used, or he was used, but he wasn't used to the way that a top talent running back should be used. I mean, this man has been one of the best running backs in the NFL for the last couple of years. And then last year, it's just like they forgot he was on the roster. I mean, the Cardinals literally screwed me in fantasy, just to let you know. So, yeah, fuck you, Cardinals. But I just hope that they actually use David Johnson to, the way you should.
And I want to bring up another point about their coach and coming from college. I know there's been successful college coaches in the NFL, but to your point about his air raid offense, and I'll kind of point to Chip Kelly on this also, because I think Chip Kelly was guilty of it. I think when college coaches try to come in the NFL and transition a lot of college, like basically just replicate their college playbook, I think it backfires on them in a big way. And I'm not saying that some coaches haven't had success. I'm just saying the majority. Chip Kelly is one of the latest ones that come to mind. I don't think that offense, that they should run that either. Now, if they're using that to help Kyler Murray transition to the pros, I understand that. But if you're asking me, I agree that they need to get rid of that offense, because I don't think it translates to wins. At least I won't think it'll translate to wins on this NFL level.
And the thing is that the type of offense that he's using, that style of offense, you need go-to targets. Like, you need receivers, quality receivers that are going to be there at their spots. They're going to be moving. They're going to be, they got to be able to do different amounts of routes. It's a quick offense, but it's a pass-heavy offense. You got to – if you don't have the receivers and you need multiple, it doesn't go – in the air raid, everyone really gets the ball. There's no – it's great to have number one, but it's a spread offense. It's just on crack, pretty much. A spread offense on crack. That's pretty much what the air raid offense is.
And to bring your point up, in that style of offense, David Johnson can catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm not saying that, but you're diminishing his touches greatly, both running the ball and in the receiving game by running that style of offense. Unless
they should have just trade him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, because look, to your point, look what he did the last few years. Other than, I think he was hurt the year before last year, but
he was hurt, but I think he still had the numbers. He won me a championship. I can tell you that. He won me a fantasy football championship.
But the dude, and a lot of people, unless you played fantasy or followed NFL closely, if you mentioned David Johnson, they were like, who? I've heard people say that before. The dude like you said, put up numbers, and I think they should try to find a better. I mean, it's too late now because they're already going to have the system in place, but I think that they should find a better system to where they could use David Johnson to help Kyler Murray develop. But that's just me.
Nah, you're definitely right. You're definitely right about that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to pick David Johnson this year. Maybe they'll change my mind, but as more of the training camp and stuff starts, we'll see. But I will say this though, their defense is actually not that bad. They actually have a pretty decent defense. They got two really good safeties. The only bad part is Patrick Peterson, their number one corner. He's gonna miss the first 6 games. But their defense, other than that, I mean, it's not that bad. They're gonna need help on the corners. Definitely, like I said, with Peterson being out, and they already had questions even with him there. But they got great safety, Swearinger. They got Baker. That might be one of the best actual safety combos in the NFL.
I like their linebacking core. It's a little old, but I like it.
Yeah, I kind of like if their offense can do something, they have a chance, to possibly be a little bit better than their record was last year, 3-13. But I'm. So you have, if I remember right, you said that you see them doing about the same, 3-13. Will set your record for them. I'm gonna probably give them another game. So I'll say 4-12 for them. Just because I'm gonna give Kyler. I think Kyler is. I don't know what he'll be, but if he does turn out to be good, I think that he can make things happen definitely with his feet, and I think he'll be enough to win an extra game than they did last year. Plus, like I said, I like their defense. They'll probably win games towards the end of the season more than they'll win in the beginning, just due to the fact that teams are probably going to be, already playoff set and all that, and they don't want to get injured. I could see them stealing a couple wins, maybe even being a reason why a team doesn't make the playoffs and just shock the team. So I'm going to go 4-12 for this team. So how about we move on to the next team? The next team was the San Francisco 49ers. They went 4-12 last year, like we said before. JT, what you got to say about these 49ers over here? Oh, that's Dark Slim's team, our guest from the last episode.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get that revenge talk.
This team had a lot of hype coming around last season. They got Jimmy G for a full season. They have a somewhat, I would say, talented roster. At least offensively, it's way more talented than the team we just talked about, in my opinion. Obviously Garoppolo, he got hurt. But I really expected a lot more from this team last season than a 4-12 record. Even with the injury. But as I'm looking at their roster, you know, they have some pieces. Where they're most questionable, I would say, is the wide receiver position, but they do have some names on there. I'm looking at Jordan Matthews, Marquise Goodwin, and players like that. But we'll have to see. Obviously, they got Nick Bosa in the draft, the
I
second overall pick.
really love that pick.
So, I'm not there. I don't think they'll go 4-12 this season. I'm gonna put them at I'll give them 6-10, 6-10, just because I don't believe in the coach they got. I don't think he can take them to where they're trying to go. But Jimmy G coming back, hopefully healthy. I'll give him 6 games.
Well, I gotta tell you. So, what do you think about Jimmy G? You think Jimmy G is
honestly, I think he's a good quarterback, but I think he played under probably one of, if not the greatest football-minded coach ever. He played under one of them, and I think that was kind of what elevated his game.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at, he made Matt Castle look like an all-star. So that's kind of my opinion of him. Not that Jimmy G is terrible. I would say he's better than Matt Castle, but
right.
I don't think he's the second coming or anything.
Okay. I think basically this team is, when you look at this team, it really just depends on how you feel about Jimmy G. If you think Jimmy G has that potential to live up to his contract, the man got what, $100 million?
Yeah, kind of a ridiculous contract.
Yeah, just for playing 7 games, pretty much, he got $100 million. If you think he's good enough to earn that contract, then I think that's how good this team can be. You mentioned their wide receivers, Marquise Goodwin. I like Marquise Goodwin. He played really well last year. Not a big fan of Jordan Matthews. Jordan, he failed several times in my opinion. He had a good season or two with Philly, but at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't nothing special. He failed in Buffalo. They did draft Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, who have great talent. So, they could definitely make some noise. They're going to need some, it may take them a season or two to catch on. Although I do like Jalen Hurd more than anyone. But, Jimmy G, it really just depends on the shoulders of Jimmy G. I like their pieces. They definitely have a nice running back core. You got Breeder, you got McKinnon, you got Tevin Coleman from Atlanta. So you got 3 pieces that, McKinnon and Coleman, for example, they've never really been like the number one on the team. Coleman's been, he's been a great piece for Atlanta, but at the same time, he was never that guy. He did become the number one running back for them after injuries, but it's not like he lived up to the hype. He seems to be more like a number 2. McKinnon got the big contract. He was supposed to be the number 1 for this team, but he got hurt. And that's why Matt Breida, who I also drafted in fantasy, shout out to Matt Breida, he became that number 1 guy for them. And, I really like Matt Breida. I really do. The man had 5.3 yards per carry. You can't definitely not be disappointed with that. Definitely for a rookie, that's pretty damn good. What do you think about their running back?
I mean, I really don't have a whole lot of different opinion than what you had. Obviously, Matt Breida, like you said, had a good year. Tevin Coleman is an established running back. Jared McKinnon, he's a veteran in this league. So I think they're good at running back. They kind of have a where I would say a lot of teams don't is where they can shuffle their running backs around in the lineup and give them lots of rest. If they could make some kind of late season push, but I just don't see it. They played in the same division as the Rams and the Seahawks, so it's not like they're winning this division, at least in my opinion. So,
I'll tell you this: I think they have a shot at making the playoffs. It'll be a wild card. I don't think they're better than the Rams, but I think they have potential to be better than Seahawks. I'll get into more about that in a sec when we get into the Seahawks. But reasons why, I mean, I love their defense also.
Yeah, I was going to say their defense is pretty good.
Their defense is I feel like that's what's going to carry them. Now, I know we have this as the worst division, so obviously someone's got to suck. But, I think that, the 49ers, it's just, like I said, their talent, I see the talent there, definitely on the offense side. Like I said, we talked about their running backs. We talked about their, the couple of wide receivers they have. We talked about Jimmy G. We look at their defensive line, adding Nick Bosa with the number 2 pick. You already got DeForest Buckner. You got Arik Armstead, Solomon Thomas. That's going to be a nice defensive line. There's going to be questions about their linebackers and their corners and safeties. I think that's going to be, pretty much where the questions mostly come. Are they going to have the playmakers enough to, to stop the Rams, to, get a couple of maybe steal a division win or stuff like that? It's going to be really interesting about this team. They're going to, rely pretty much on their defense to help them win games, because even though they have on the offense side, we're forgetting George Kittle. George Kittle was a Pro Bowler last year who was a big surprise. Came out of really nowhere to just make it. And just to be as good as he was, it was really, really, really great to see that. I think this team has really dark horse potential to make it to the postseason. They may be able to sneak in, but there's just a lot of pieces that need to go right for this team to do
it. And to your point, I think they have potential to get a wild card also. I just don't see it happen. For that to happen for me, they'll have to beat the Rams and the Seahawks at least. They'll have to split it at least once for them to get a wild card. That's just how I see it. I don't see them beating the Rams. They've improved a little bit. I'm looking at their defensive roster. I mean, they have a lot of guys. We don't know what Richard Sherman's going to be after his injury.
Right.
That's a notable name on here, and but their linebacking core isn't great. They have some notable players, but they're getting older, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, so you have them going what? You said 6-10?
Yeah.
This is tough for me. I originally wrote down 6-10 also. But as I'm talking about them, and like I said, I think it's going to be based off potential. I'm going to go up a little bit. I think I'm going to go 8-8. I think I'm going to go 8-8 for them. I think for some reason, when I look at Jimmy G, it's going to be tough coming off the ACL, but I think if he stays healthy, he can pull off some victories. So I'm going to go 8-8 for this team. I question it, but I'm going to go 8-8. I'm going to go 8-8. We'll see. We'll see if we'll see if I'm right. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna split the difference. Let's go 7-9. 7-9.
Okay.
7-9. All right, so let's go. Let's move on. Let's talk about Seattle. Seattle Seahawks. Last year they were 10-6. They just gave Russell Wilson a big ass contract. Was it the best? Is it the biggest in the NFL?
It's one of the biggest. I don't know if it is the biggest, but it's up there.
He definitely, I think he deserved it, but we'll see. I read an article where they said that the worst contract, they basically had worst contract for each NFL team, and for some odd reason, Russell Wilson was listed on there as the worst contract on the Seattle Seahawks. I was so surprised. I felt disrespected, and I'm not Russell Wilson, obviously. So, I don't know. What's your opinion on Seahawks? What you got for him?
Contrary to what I said before about college coaches, I really like Pete Carroll and the system he's put in place here. The Seahawks are one of those teams that, you can at least I can say, and I'm sure they have been, but I just can't remember. I can't remember this team ever getting just blown out, like multiple times. They're always competitive and tough. They added a lot of pieces I like in the draft. I like DK Metcalf for a receiving core that, in my opinion, needed help. Their running backs, I think it's hard to envision anybody on their team as a running back after, Marshawn Lynch has been gone there for a few years now. But I like their defense. They got Ezekiel Ansah. So that's a big –
fucking stole him, man.
Big name. But I like this team. Last year the Cowboys played them in the playoffs, beat them, obviously.
Why you have to say obviously?
Well, I mean, they beat them. I mean, they didn't go any further, but I like this team. They got in at 10-6 last year. I'm not gonna say they go 10-6 this year. I'm gonna say they're not gonna make the playoffs, but I'm gonna say they go 7-9 this year.
7-9.
I think. Wow. Yeah. I like this team a lot. I just don't think that they have all the pieces offensively to do it. I mean, Russell Wilson carried them a long way last year on his own.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And I give him credit for that. I'm glad the Seahawks signed him and that he didn't go to the Giants like that was reported.
That would have been the end of Dallas. That would have been the end of Dallas.
But yeah, I like Russell Wilson. I think he's a hell of a player. I just think he needs a little bit more help on offense than what they're giving him. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I have him going 7-9.
All right, so now I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you.
All right.
We definitely disagree on this. We definitely disagree. So I'm gonna tell you the record I'm giving them first.
Okay.
I'm gonna have them getting the same record as last year. I think they're gonna get 10-6. Now I don't know if that would be good enough to make the playoffs. I'm not sure about that yet, but I still have them being 10-6, and it's just because of that man. It's because of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson can play with, people off the street, and I think he would still lead that team to a good record. Let's be honest. His number one receiver from last year, Doug Baldwin, was dealing with injuries. He did retire at the end of the season. Huge loss. Doug Baldwin had a great career. He's won the championship, made 2 others. I think he was a Pro Bowler playing with Russ. They were one of the best 1-2 combos in the league for several years. I mean, I love Doug Baldwin. But last year, if you remember, he kind of found like the new Doug Baldwin. He got Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett came really, I mean, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but the way he played, you can kind of say that you were like, whoa. I know I was, and I'm going to bring up fantasy a lot just because I'm a huge fantasy guy. And Tyler Lockett was one of the reasons why I lost fantasy. I mean, the man had 10 touchdowns, 965 yards. He didn't have his 1,000-yard season, but he did all this in like just a short couple of weeks. It was pretty damn great. I love Tyler Lockett. I love Russell Wilson. They're just going to get better. You already mentioned DJ Metcalf. Is it DJ or DK?
DK, yeah.
DK Metcalf. The man looks like the Hulk, but who can run like a 4.3. It's really amazing. Now I know there's a lot of questions, and I watched tape on this guy. You know, there is a lot of questions about his route running and the different, just basically, you know, what type of routes can he actually really do? Is he just a go route type of guy? You know, can he do the slants? You know, can he do the ins? Can he do outs? You know, there's definitely a different, you know, it's definitely something that's got to be a question about Metcalf. Now I know he's already been practicing with Russell Wilson on their spare time. I actually just watched the video of them playing together and, you know, just learning and stuff like that. It's gonna be a really big question about how great this offense can be. It's gonna be relayed and relied on by DK. But if you're on the side that you believe, let me ask you this: do you believe DK is going to be good?
Like out of the gate or eventually?
Either way.
I think he will. I think he will be good, a good player. But I think it will take him. I mean, you're going to see flashes of what he can do early this season. But I think it's going to take him a season or two to establish himself as one of the top players in the league. I think he has a lot of upside. You know, his route running is questionable, but I don't like that. You know, I understand why people say that. I don't like it how they use that for rookies, because if a rookie's got a good coach, then they can teach them those routes, you know, and know what they can do.
Well, I kind of disagree with that. And you know, this is not an attack on your Cowboys or anything like that. I'm not trying to attack them, but just look at wow, how did my mind just go blank? The X. Crap. How did my mind just go blank? Number one receiver. Did the X.
Des Bryant.
Des Bryant. Wow, his name just, for some reason, Oklahoma State. Anyway, Des Bryant, for example, a lot of the reason why he didn't get signed was just due to the fact that, you know, besides the injury, he didn't get quickly picked up was because he only really had one route. Kind of two. It was really kind of two. You know, he had the comeback, and he also had the deep route. But other than that, his route tree was so limited that, I mean, corners definitely talked about it. When they faced Des Bryant, they weren't really worried about him. They either knew he was going to do the GOAT or he was going to come and do the comeback.
Okay, well, and I'm not disagreeing that he only ran those two, but that's where I bring up the point is that's a coaching problem. That's not necessarily a Des problem. That's a coaching problem, you know. Especially with this kid being a rookie, they should have him running the route tree and figuring out if he can run more than one. I mean, I don't think you draft a guy because he's a receiver and can only run two routes or a route. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I disagree. I mean, many receivers are drafted because they can run route.
No.
Route. Sorry.
No. I'm not saying that you can't draft them because that's their strength, but I'm saying a good coach will find out also what they, a good receivers coach, a good coordinator. I think this kid and Metcalf, they're gonna see what he can do and move him around if they're smart, because everybody knows, he's fast. Everyone knows that. So,
well, he's fast. Well, he's fast running just straight.
right. Yeah. He's fast. Yeah. Like, on a go
slow.
route.
He's slow at doing cuts. I mean, let's just remember his, in the combine. I mean, his 20-yard shuttle was slow. I mean, I'm not gonna say terrible, but for his speed, it should definitely have been way faster. His 3-cone drill was terrible. That I remember. I mean, if I remember right, didn't he do slower times than Tom Brady?
Yeah, I think so. On his quickness, I think. Clearly not his 40, but yeah.
Now we both know Tom Brady is damn sure no running guy.
Yeah.
He ain't winning no races. Okay, he will lose a race against a snail. Like, let's just be honest. That's not. And I like DK. Like, DK looks like he should be a superstar in this league. I don't want to use this as a way to shit on him, because I don't want to shit on him. I actually think he's going to be something. I wanted my Jets to draft him. I'm not going to lie. But there are questions about him. And it's scary. I think the Seahawks are going to be fine whether he's bad or not, just because you have, in my opinion, you have a top 5 quarterback in the league. Russell Wilson, to me, is just that damn good. I mean, when you throw 35 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions, I mean, that's amazing. I don't care what anyone says. Now, yes, he only threw for 3,400 yards. Big deal. Who cares? The man threw 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, with a team that should not have been as good as they were last year. That was all.
I'm in agreement. Yeah, he put that team on his shoulders. So,
and I just feel like, honestly, the biggest concern about the Seahawks is not their players. To me, is Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, that's the biggest concern to me. Their offensive coordinator. Brian Schottenheimer, and you'll hear a lot about Brian Schottenheimer when we talk about Mark Sanchez down the road. But I hate Brian Schottenheimer. I hate him. The man, he's overrated. He's always been overrated. And he's the only person that I feel like can hurt this team. Because you mentioned their defense. I think we're both in agreement. Did you love their defense, or did you just like it?
No, I like it. I love it. I've always liked their defense, to be honest. So
I knew the Legion of Boom era it's over, but their defense is still a plus. Like, their team is going to go as far as their top 5 quarterback in the league. Russell Wilson will take them. And they have the running game. They got the nice running backs. Let Matt Breida be the starting running back, please, because I plan on drafting him. Have Tevin Coleman be his backup. Other than that, I like this team. I said 10-6. I think they're going to match that from last year. 10-6 is my rate. I love this team.
I'm just saying, that's not unheard of to me. I'm just being realistic. They got a tough schedule. That's why I put them at 7-9. They have a real tough schedule, in my opinion. They got to play the Rams twice. If you think the Rams are going to be what they were last year, you gave the 49ers 7 wins. So if that's a split right there or not. But then they also have the Saints, the Ravens, the Browns, the Steelers. So, I mean, they got some tough games ahead of them.
So. Well, let's be honest for a second. Let's be honest. So let me look at this for a second, because now I'm looking at their schedule. You got me curious. I didn't look at their schedule before I looked at this. They play Bengals, Steelers, Saints, and the Cardinals.
That's a potential 2-2 split right there.
Well, that's for you. I think that's 1, 2. They're going to start the season 3-1 out of the first 4 weeks.
You think they're beating the Steelers?
They're beating the Steelers.
Okay.
Sorry, Eric, our Facebook moderator. You're losing to the Seahawks. I think they'll split with the Rams.
Okay.
I'm just going down the list. I'm not going to go through it all, but they'll beat the Bucks. They'll beat the Niners twice. So that's 3 wins right there. That'll be 6. Right now, have them at 6 wins. Let's see. They play the Panthers. They'll beat the Panthers. They'll beat the Cardinals twice. That's another 2 wins. 8. I said the Niners. Let's see. Vikings. I don't like the Vikings offense, so they'll beat them. Yeah, 10-6. I see 10-6.
Okay. We'll have to see how that one plays out. Like I said, I could see them going 10-6 again. My gut tells me they're going to be a 7-win team.
Okay. Well, I guess that would go more in the fact that we think this is the worst division. It's kind of crazy because based off my records, you would think that that maybe I didn't agree with this. I did agree because I do think that. In fact, I will say this. I said that I have Cardinals winning 4 games, correct? I have 4 games for them, and then I have 7 games for the Niners. I'm actually going to drop down. I'm going to give the Cardinals the same record. And then I'm also going to give the 49ers the same thing. So, yeah, Cardinals are actually going to go 3-13. The way the more I talk about it, the more I think about it. They're going to be 3-13. I'm going to give the 49ers 7-9, and then I'll give the Seahawks back there 10-6, like I said. So let's jump into the next team. We both agree this team is going to win this division. The Los Angeles Rams. What you got to say about the Rams, JT?
Well, it'll be Mr. McVay's second full year in the league as a head coach. He did great things last year. Obviously, they went 13-3. They went to a Super Bowl. There was controversy, like you said, but he doesn't wear the striped shirt and throw the flags, so you can't put that on Sean McVay or the Rams players. My concern is now that teams have played this Rams team or have a full year of tape on them, if they will continue to be as dominant as they were last year, which I think they will.
Yes.
They have a good formula. They have Todd Gurley, one of the greatest running backs in the game, Jared Goff, who played really well last year in that offense. They have, a lot of pieces that I would say aren't superstar players last year on the offensive end, but they were very good players. I like this team. I like their defense also. Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive players in the league right now, if not the best defensive player in the league. So I like this team last year. I like them again this year to win this division. So I don't really have a whole lot to say, so I'll kind of just pass it off to you.
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, you said everything. The only thing, Jared Goff is I like Jared Goff. I really do. The only thing is, I mean, I get the questions about him. People question, is Jared Goff, even though he has his moments of being great, he had that 5-touchdown game, for example. He has those big games, but sometimes he just doesn't.
He's the Achilles heel of this team. I think anybody would agree.
And it's crazy to say that he's the Achilles heel. Like, but it's true. You know, it's just one of those things where, I mean, when you have a quarterback throws for 4,700 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. You know, he's completing 65% of his passes. Yet for some reason he's still considered an Achilles heel. It's kind of, you know, that's a huge question mark. And like, it's like, damn, that guy is your Achilles heel. Is that how great your team is? You know, I mean, they started, I think, 2 years ago they were 11-5. Then they went to 13-3.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this team got worse at all. Like, they lost pieces and then gained pieces. You know, they got Eric Weddle, one of the best safeties in the league. They just picked him up for like nothing. It was like, I was just shocked. I don't know where this team's getting the money. I don't know if Hollywood is sliding some cash under their door and they're able to pay for everybody. I don't know what's happening. I mean, with all the talent they have on their roster, you know, it's just crazy. And I get it. Right now, they're not paying their quarterback big bucks right now. He's still on his rookie contract. So I think in a year or maybe 2 years, they're going to have to blow this shit up because you're going to have to pay Jared Goff. Goff has been balling. His first year, he was terrible. But his second and third, I mean, like I said, 11-5, 13-3. This year, I got them going about 13-3 also. Maybe 12-4. It's going to be 12 or 13 wins easily for this team. I mean, with potential to go undefeated. I mean, that's just how good this team is. You know, the only – I would actually say this. There is one more question mark on this team. And I think it was a problem in the playoffs, and it was definitely a problem in the Super Bowl. Todd Gurley. I don't know, was Todd Gurley hurt? Was he in the doghouse?
So he was hurt earlier on in the playoffs. You know, I don't know if that made it to this. You know, injury bothered him so much that was all the way to the Super Bowl because that was almost a month later. But you know, a big question mark on this team is, you know, C.J. Anderson. He balled out in the playoffs and towards the end of the season. You know, they don't have him. They don't have him anymore. I mean, he's not currently on the roster. So
yeah, they drafted that running back from Memphis, if I remember right.
Henderson. 20. I don't remember his first name.
Darrell.
Yeah.
Darrell Henderson. They drafted him in the third round. I remember him. I had to play. Well, not me, but my college team, where I went to college, ECU, East Carolina Pirates. Shout out to them. We had to play him, and he whooped our ass. So I know about Darrell. And they did draft him to reduce the role of Todd Gurley, you know, just not to give him so many snaps. You got to remember that Todd Gurley, you know, he actually leads the team in receptions in 2017. You know, he led that team as a running back. While I think he also led the league in rushing that year. So they got to reduce his role. They got to keep him ready. You know, he wanted to play in the Super Bowl, and although I think he got less than 10 snaps, or 10 touches, I should say. Maybe he got snaps, but he got less than 10 touches, and that's just. I'm sorry, you're in the Super Bowl. I think he would rather have gotten hurt in the Super Bowl and been taken out due to injury than just not been used at all. Definitely in a close game like that. But we're not going to get into that. It's just I hope that he is healthy. You know, last year, 1,200 – he had basically 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards, something like that. It was around the middle of that. He had 17 touchdowns. I mean, it's just amazing. They have a great offense, great defense. You mentioned Aaron Donald, but they did get Clay Matthews. Hopefully, Clay Matthews is trying to like rejuvenate his career after his long tenure in Green Bay. He's still a veteran though. Didn't have a great year last year, but he's like I said, he's just trying to rejuvenate his career. Maybe he's on the right team to do it. You know, I don't know. Like I said, you what record you have them going?
I have them going about the same record. Give them a game or two. Like you, I would say that they're a 12-win team. So that's what I'm
gonna give them also 12. I'm gonna say 12 with the potential to go undefeated. I mean, that's just the way it is with them. I don't think they're going undefeated or anything like that, but they do have the potential. That's just how good they are. So,
and I want to apologize real quick because I said this was Sean McVay's first year. Last year, I actually think it was his second year.
Yeah,
this is
his first year. They won 11-5.
Yeah, so I think this will be his third year as head coach. So,
yeah. But so let's just do a little quick recap. So you have the Arizona Cardinals going 3-12. I mean 3 and
same record as last year.
Same record. So 3-13 for them. You have the 49ers going 6-10.
Yep.
You have the Seahawks going 7-9, and then you have the Rams going 12-4.
Yep.
All right. And then for me, I have the Cardinals going 3-13 also. I have the 49ers going 7-9. I have the Seahawks going 10-6, and then I'm going with the Rams going 13-3 again. So pretty much almost the same records as last year. I just have the 49ers winning an extra game. So, all right, not bad. That's not bad. We have, like I said, guys, this is the NFC West. We have them as ranked as our worst division in the league. Now we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna go, like I said, the first week, and next Sunday also we're gonna go with 2 teams each. 2 divisions each. We're gonna talk 2. So let's just jump right into the second division that we think is gonna be the worst, second worst in the NFL for the next season. JT, how about you go ahead and tell them what that is?
So we agreed on this one also. Now we did the NFC this last time, so now we're going over to the AFC, and we did the AFC East, and that is the New England Patriots, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, and the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, first off, you said that with a smile on your face. I know you did. I just want people to know, although I agree to this, I definitely part of me thinks this is totally bullshit. Part of me, but that's probably the Jets fan in me. Doesn't want to be associated with being one of the worst divisions in the league. But, it is what it is. I can't be biased. I got to be truthful. So, JT, go ahead and start it off. Who do you think is going to be the worst team in the AFC East? And that's what, God, you say, well, I think you're going to say. I'm just going to shit out of you. Go ahead.
I guess you're just gonna be mad at me. I'm gonna have to say the New York Jets.
What?
I am. I'm good. Yeah, I mean the New York Jets. I know you believe in your boy Darnold, and you should.
What?
They did get Le'Veon in the offseason. Now, when I said they're going to be the worst team in the league, I think they're going to have a much better record. But you have to remember the Bills were bad last year and they won 6-10, and the Dolphins were also not that good and they went 7-9. They were better than I thought they were a better team than the Bills for sure, and they beat them by a game. Obviously, you have the Super Bowl winner and the Patriots in this division as well. But to go back to the Jets, they were 4-12 last year. I'm actually going to give them a 7-win season. They did add Le'Veon, which will help Sam Darnold develop, and we'll kind of see really what kind of quarterback Sam Darnold is with a full season under his belt. You have Robbie Anderson, Jamison Crowder. So we'll have to see. There's a lot of question marks on offense. I know that you are excited about your offense, and I'll let you talk more about that because it is your team. Defensively, you guys, I have some question marks on the defense, especially in your interior defensive line. I don't know if you guys can recover from what you lost. I like Jamal Adams. He's a boss. 3 years in the league. I would say he's a top 5 safety in the league, if not higher. But I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna give him a 7-win season. I know that you don't think they're gonna be at the bottom of this division, but I'll let you go.
I'm a little curious because you have us winning 7 games, yet we'll be the worst team in the division.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Woo. Okay. So you must have Bills and Dolphins winning 10 games and Patriots going undefeated or something. I mean, that's the only thing I can see. But okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know how wrong. I don't know how a person could be more wrong than you. Let's just start at the top. Sam Darnold. Okay. I know a lot of people for some reason are going to question Sam Darnold, and I don't understand why. Sam Darnold played really well last year. Was it a great season? Was it all-time great? No, I'm not going to say that. He played really well. For a rookie, with a team that he had with a lot of injuries, he was missing Quincy Enunwa. Bilal Powell was hurt. Robbie Anderson missed games. His tight end missed games. O-line was terrible. For what he had, Sam Darnold played really, really well. And I think that Sam Darnold has the potential, and that's my favorite word, it seems like. Sam Darnold has potential to be really, really great. I see it. I love his arm. I love the way that he's been practicing really, really well. And I know it's practice, and I know I keep saying really, really well, but I don't want to say the things I really want to say because I feel like people will think I'm crazy. But I do just feel like Sam Darnold's going to be a really great quarterback. I said since day one, Sam Darnold was the guy I wanted. And I said that since day one, it would take him, about, I would say 2 years to 3 before people actually see his greatness. He's just going to only get better. And now adding Le'Veon Bell, one of the best running backs in the league, with a year off and rest. It may take him a game or 2 to get game ready. But Le'Veon Bell is an absolutely great addition to this team. I don't give a shit about what Adam Gase said. Or Adam Gase just feeling about paying a running back that much. Fuck that. It's Le'Veon Bell, you give him the money. It wasn't even that much. It was actually a steal. So you only gave him 4 years, $52 million, with only 25 of it guaranteed. That's a steal. So he's going to be working hard and busting his ass to just not only earn that contract, but to potentially get another contract. So love that deal. He's going to make Sam Darnold better. I'm sorry. Then you add our receivers, Enua's back being fully healthy, Robbie Anderson fully healthy. Robbie Anderson, to me, I think him and Sam Darnold have potential to be one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. Sort of like the Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett type deal. I just feel like they have that connection. They can reach that. Robbie Anderson is going to be a breakout star. A lot of people are going to be talking about him. Love his route running. The man is just a speed demon. Love everything about him. We improved our offensive line. We basically stole Asimeli from the Raiders. Got him a Pro Bowler. Okay, we got him for just like a fifth round pick. It was just a steal. I mean, now offensive line is going to be great. I mean, we added Jameson Crowder. I could talk about the Jets all day. Our defense got really better. I mean, you got Brian Poole, you got C.J. Mosley. What more can you want, JT? I just don't get it. Like, do you want me to continue or?
Hey, it's your turn. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I get it. We're not we don't have the big names besides Le'Veon Bell. We don't have like the big names. I get it, but it doesn't. You don't need big names. You just need a young team that's passionate, that fit together, that know their positions, they know their jobs. This team's gonna win 9 games this year.
Listen,
and we can steal a wild card spot. I think we can steal it.
You're out of your mind. You're out.
This team is going to win 9 games.
Listen, I know you're
going to get 10.
I know you're a Jets fan, and you want to hype them up. It's understandable because I'd be the same way. Yeah. And I'm sure when it comes to my turn talking about Dallas, I will say some things that are out of pocket. But you have to forget, you have Adam Gase as your head coach, who I know has had 1 or 2 what some would call successful seasons as his tenure as a coach in the NFL. But he is your biggest question mark, and I don't know how much I believe in him leading this team to a 9-game.
Well, I'm a Jets fan, and I don't believe in him.
It's hard for me to envision this team winning 5 more games than they did last year. I understand the pieces you named and the talent you've named, but there is a lot of ifs that they have to overcome to get to 9.
Let me ask you this. Is Le'Veon Bell – last year, okay, let's say Le'Veon Bell didn't sit out. Can you name 3 running backs better than him last year?
I mean, that's opinion, but yeah.
Can you really sit –
After off the top of my head, I can.
Entering last year, Le'Veon Bell was the best running back in football. It wasn't even close.
No, you're wrong.
He was the best running back in football.
No, he was top 5, but he's not the best. No.
How's he not the best? I mean, he was one of the best at catching the football. He's one of the best runners in football.
No.
I mean, when you add a combination of everything he can do, he's the best running back in football.
Well, here's the thing. I can argue this all day long. We can argue this, but I'll never win because if you bring our moderator on the show is a Steelers fan, I'll never win this argument. But you're wrong. He is good, but he's not the best running back in the NFL. He wasn't the best running back in the NFL last year. You said it yourself. Todd Gurley led a team in receptions.
So did Le'Veon.
No, Le'Veon Bell entering last season, if he didn't sit out, was the 3rd best running back in the league.
Okay, so even way, and let's just say you said the 3rd best. Okay, that means you can name 3 better than him. So,
but I can though this year. If he played last year,
this year because he's sat out.
Okay, but I'm saying even if he would have played, I'd put 3 running backs ahead of him. I've actually put 4 ahead of him, but that's okay.
Well, because you don't know what he would have done last year. What if he led the league in rushing?
He wasn't going to lead the league in rushing.
You don't know that.
I do.
You don't, though. That's the thing.
As long as I do, though. I do know that.
As long as Zeke is alive,
yeah.
Zeke is going to be suspended for the year this year, so it doesn't even matter. Okay.
But he would have led the league in the rushing 3 straight years in a row.
Look, breaking news: Zeke Elliott just got arrested again. I just got the update. I mean, it's just No, I'm joking. He didn't get arrested again. He did get arrested the other day, though, didn't he? Or they got charged. He got charged.
Yeah.
So he'll probably miss about another 8 weeks. So
Probably.
your team is done. I hope you have them as the worst whenever we get to them. But I just can't believe. Like I said, I got this team going getting 9 wins. Our defense. I loved our defense last year. Our defense just got better. They're going to be led by Jamal.
Okay,
yes, sir.
your team had 4 wins and 12 losses last year. You don't think it's a little crazy for you to jump the gun and give them a winning record and one season with a brand new head coach and a second-year quarterback who didn't even play a full 16 games? You don't think that's a little crazy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
We did it before, 2009.
But then you have Brett Favre.
No.
That's not the year you got Brett Favre?
That was 2008.
Okay.
We had a new coach.
Yeah, okay. I know who your quarterback was, and that's ridiculous. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to get into this. I already know where this is going. Just
I'm just saying.
Continue what you were saying.
With a new coach, we had a winning record and was a wild card. So I'm just saying, I just don't see how like I said, last year we were injured. Now, even if we weren't injured, what was our record? What would our record have been? What do I say our record would have been last year? I would have I said 6 wins last year. If we weren't injured. So that's 2 games, possibly 3. So 7 or 6 wins last year if we weren't injured. I think that's to me, I mean, that would put us right there with Miami. That would put us right there against the Bills. Or it could have put us ahead of them just if we would have won games against them instead. We don't know where those 2 or 3 wins would have came from. So I just think that if everyone healthy with all the great additions, I mean, it's not like we added bums. We added Pro Bowlers to our roster. We added 3 Pro Bowlers to our biggest pieces that we needed. Plus, Jamal Adams is just going to get better. Like I said, Sam Darnold's going to get better. I honestly don't get how it's a big leap, but it's okay. Like I said, I'm going to go 9-7, although 10-6 is definitely a possibility. What's your next team?
Oh, Lord. Okay, so we're moving to the next team, which is the Buffalo Bills, which I think is a team that will surprise some people this year. Actually, I'm going 8-8.
Okay. I actually agree with you.
I like Josh Allen. I think now that he's had, that rookie season under his belt, I think he's actually just going to get better. My question is, do they have enough pieces around him at the wide receiver position? They did add Cole Beasley, who isn't necessarily a big name player. Yes, he came from Dallas, but he is very good in the slot and doing a lot of things that a lot of people don't give him credit for. Their running backs are a little suspect, I think. But I do like their defense also. I think their defense is going to get better as the year goes along. I actually think they're going to start off the season a little shaky, but I think they're going to win a lot of games down the road. So I will this is your division. I think these teams a little bit better than me, so I'll give you the floor.
All right. So the Buffalo Bills, I said I agree with you, 8-8. But the reason why I'm agreeing with you is not – I think their highest potential is 8-8. So when I give my records, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they're a team that is gonna just surprise teams. Josh Allen, I don't think Josh Allen is better than Sam Darnold, but I think that doesn't mean I don't like Josh Allen. I actually do like Josh Allen a lot. He definitely has Great tools, great arm, can run the football. And because of that, that's going to get them some wins. Their receiving core, it's not nothing too scary, but I like John Brown. Zay Jones is from my college. I used to party with Zay Jones. I know him. Um, so I think Zay Jones is definitely, going to take that next step. A lot of people don't know, but Zay Jones actually has the record for most catches in college Division I history. Um, he's a great receiver, can run any route. I think he's just going to improve. Then you add Cole Beasley as their slot. Cole Beasley a lot. Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers in the game, and that's just going to make them improve even better. I'm a question their running backs. Although they do have LaShawn McCoy and Frank Gore. Frank Gore is like 100 years old, but he's still productive. But we'll see how he is in year 100. I think he'll be fine, but it's still a big question mark. And then LaShawn McCoy, he's a guy for his whole career, it's been mostly focused on his speed and his quickness. As he gets older, how is that going to, affect him as far as being productive on the field? Last year was one of his worst years, if not his worst year. So, that's going to be a huge problem. It's just their run game. Their defense, I like their defense. There's no big names up there besides, you got Ed Oliver. Gotta love him, and you gotta love Lotulele. Lotulele. I can never say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lotulele. It's gonna be, it's gonna be a pretty tough defense. Like I said, no star names, but you got good pieces. Shaq Lawson's another piece. Jordan Poyer. Who has a very hot wife, Rachel Bush. Goddamn. But anyway, Lorenzo Alexander's good. Milano's good. They just have good pieces around them. I'm gonna get them 8-8. That's just me. So we'll go on. We'll move on to. I'm assuming Miami is going to be next on your list. I'm hoping.
Yeah, Miami for sure.
Right.
They went 7-9 last year. They had the miracle game against the Patriots, which was awesome. I think we both can agree that was cool.
Yes.
But this is another team, and I actually have them also going 8-8 this year. You want to talk about a team that doesn't have a lot of star players. This is a team really that, Kenny Stills might be their star player on offense. Collectively as a unit, I do like their defense. Now, obviously, their defense is not going to be in the top, defenses just looking at their roster, but they're
top.
They're going to. I think they'll be competitive. This whole team will be competitive. I think their schedule helps them a little bit. They have a couple of for sure losses, in my opinion, on their schedule. In my opinion, they should have just left Ryan Fitzpatrick on the street and just rolled with what they had. But that's not how the Dolphins saw it. But like I said, I'm giving them 8 wins. I know that you think that's crazy, but I'll let you tell me why.
Well, this team be lucky to get 3. Oh man. Okay. Okay. Wow.
They won 7 games last year. How do you say they'd be lucky to get 3?
This team is terrible. Okay. This team is just terrible. Let's just start. Okay, so I like Devontae Parker. I like Kenyon Drake. I think I named all the players I like. All the players are just terrible. Um,
Kenny Stills is terrible.
Kenny Still's terrible. Well, I won't say terrible. He's all right. Bryce Butler is god awful. I mean, god damn, he's terrible. Ryan Fitzpatrick is just he's unless he's hot, he's the worst. Like that's the thing. When he's hot, he's one of the best. When he's the worst, he's the worst. Um, and I just don't see him being hot with this team. This team is going to just be at the bottom of the list. And then when Ryan Fitzpatrick is, when he ends up being terrible, they're going to put in another terrible quarterback in Josh Rosen. And they may just lose even more games with Josh Rosen. Either way, they're just really terrible. Like I said, I like Kenny Drake. I think he's going to be, he's a pretty good running back. Nothing special, but I like him. Got to give him respect. They don't have receivers, Kenny Stills, Devontae Parker. I already said I like Devontae Parker. Not a big Kenny Stills fan. I understand why you are or why other people would be. But to me, he's not scaring nobody, in my opinion. But he will make some catches for you. I hate their defense. Didn't like it last year. I know they played well, but it wasn't. I think the only person I really like is probably Xavier Howard, maybe Eric Rowe. But other than that, Alonzo is terrible. Made some good plays, but he's still terrible. This team is going to be 3-13. I want to go lower, but I don't want to be disrespectful. So 3-13 at best, 4-12 for me. They're going to slide off. Hate their coach. I just hate everything about this team. They're terrible. I'm done talking about this. Let's just move on.
All right,
Go ahead and
move
talk
on to the New England Patriots, the defending Super Bowl champions.
And that's the end of the show, guys. Great show.
There's nothing really I'm gonna say. I mean, they still have number 12 at QB and Belichick at head coach. They won 11-5 last year.
They're gonna fall off a cliff.
I don't think their record's gonna change too much. I did actually have them as a 10-win team originally until I looked at their schedule, and now I'm gonna say that they have the same record. Maybe they're a 12-4 team. They're always a team that doesn't have a ton of talent. It seems like, without, they don't have Gronk. With the exception of Gronk and Randy Moss, they've never really had a superstar players on offense in the past 7 or 8 years. I mean, they did add a couple pieces, but they're nothing, to get super excited about. Their defense is always competitive. So I really don't have a whole lot to say about the New England Patriots. I know you might not want to say what you want to say about the New England Patriots, but I'll give you the floor.
So I'm looking at the schedule right now. I'm counting the wins. I didn't notice their schedule before. I was just going off of their roster when I made my thing, but I'm looking at it now. Now, let me just count these wins real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hell yeah, they're definitely winning week 12. That's an easy win. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So right now, they have 11 easy wins, which means they're going to have to get to the record I have them at. They're going to have to steal 2 wins. And
I'm going 13-3.
So I'm going to go with 13-3 for the New England Patriots. I mean, what more can we really say about New England? New England has owned this division. They've won every division since like 2001 besides like 2. I mean, you got number 12, and unless the cliff is going to happen tonight, I mean, he's still going to be great. You can't go against Tom Brady. I mean, that's just the rule. The only person that can defeat Tom Brady is Tom Brady, Def, and Mark Sanchez. So, I mean, it's just
Eli Manning.
Oh, and Eli Manning. I forgot about Eli. Sorry, Eli. Don't let me not be disrespectful. So yeah, those are the only four things: Tom Brady, Mark Sanchez, Def, and Eli. I mean, that's just really what it is. Um, you just got to give them credit. You know, they lost a lot of pieces with Gronk, and Gronk was a huge part of that team. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the Patriots. I mean, what more can you really say? You got Bill Belichick, who, in my opinion, is the greatest coach of all time. They still have Sony Michel. They got James White, so you know they're going to kill it on the run game with that combination. And then let me not forget Burkhead, who was injured a lot last year. You know, their receiving core, once again, like every year, is going to have questions, but
They make
you know,
it work.
they make it work. You know, they did add Demaryius Thomas, although he's been injury prone the last couple of years. You know, it's still Demaryius Thomas. Somehow he's going to end up being like 100% healthy and have like the greatest season of all time because of Tom Brady. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, what more can I say? I don't. I'm looking at their defensive players right now. Besides like Hightower and Gilmore, like everyone else is just like, who the fuck are they? But they're still godlike. Like, you know, Patrick Chung. He's not. Everyone knows him because he's a Patriot, but he's not like a top safety or anything like that. He's a really good safety, but it's not like he's a top safety or anything. You know, they don't have guys like that. They just bring people off the street and make them great, and that's what they did with. You know, that's what they did with Patrick Chung. You know, they've done that with Jason McCourty. Devin McCourty's the good one. But Jason McCourty came off the street. John Simon's going to be coming off the street. You know, Michael Bennett's at the end of his career, and somehow he's going to have the greatest season he's ever had. It's the Patriots. That's just what they do. 13-3. You know, they'll win this division again for the last time. This will be the last time.
For the last time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. You heard it here first.
This will be the last time.
I don't believe that, but that's okay.
At least for the next 12 years.
Who's going to win in the next 12 years? Let's just put that out there.
Sam Darnold.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest, JT. I mean, a lot of people are going to be shocked at this just because we have the AFC East being better and not being the worst division. I think a lot of people will be shocked by that. Just because it's just been a Tom Brady division. This is the AFC Brady. I mean, that's just the way it is. As much as I hate to say it, it's true. And I mean, got to give them their respect. They just been dominant. And they've won, what is it, 6 titles now?
Yeah.
7, 6, 6, something like that. So, you know, we just got to give them major props. Got to give them credit. Let's just do a recap real quick because we do have a difference of opinions as far as the order. You have the Jets with the worst record, like an idiot. You have us being, what was it? 6?
7 and 9.
Okay. You have the Jets 7 and 9. That's right. You weren't as disrespectful as you wanted to be. Then you have both the Bills and the Dolphins being 8 and 8, and then you have the Patriots at what?
Same record, 11 and 5.
11 and 5. Okay, I have the Patriots 13 and 3. I have the Jets at either 9 and 7 or 10 and 6, just depending on how I'm feeling today. I'm gonna say 9 and 7 right now, but chances are it's gonna drop up to 10 down the road. I have the Bills at 8 and 8, and then I have the Dolphins at like 0 and 16 or -3 and whatever, as low as you can go. But I did say 3-13, but I really feel like they're just terrible. They may not win a game. It's just that bad in Miami. So there you go, ladies and gents. That is our beginning of our NFL preview. Like we said at the beginning, we're going by worst division up to our greatest. To the best division in our opinions. We started with the NFC West. We then went to the AFC East, and next week,
surprise. Yeah.
You just got to tune in and find out. We're gonna do this every Sunday. We will be dropping our NFL preview until week 7. Week 7 will be 7 weeks from now. We'll actually do our full NFL preview for the whole season. We'll give you our playoff winners, division winners and all that. Well, you already know that, but you'll have playoff matchups and winners and stuff like that. We'll predict our MVPs and all the awards. We'll predict all of that. We'll predict who's going to win the Super Bowl and stuff like that. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. I think you'll be shocked. I'm even shocked at my pick for the Super Bowl. But you'll have to wait to find out what that is. JT, you got anything else to say to the people right here?
Well, I think that is the plan, but let's not forget, there's an episode coming up between here and there, and I don't want to say it could be the last episode, but it could make one of us here angry. Should we tell them what's coming up, or?
Well, it is our very next episode. You know what? Why we might as well just tell them what it is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We've mentioned this a while back, but we're getting to it. The next episode is going to be basically, I have a problem with what you've been saying and the way you've been glorifying Mark Sanchez, and we, I'm giving you a chance, a whole episode, which is a lot more than people think you should have, a whole episode to prove me wrong, to change my mind. And at the same time, I'm also going to be changing your mind. And, I know you love Mark Sanchez. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to hit you with some clarity, man. I'm going to help you. I want to help you. So this is how we're doing it.
Look, let me just address this real quick, people. So next episode, me and JT, he doesn't want to call it a debate, but we're basically debating the career of Mark Sanchez. JT won't admit it, but JT thinks that Mark Sanchez is like the worst quarterback of all time. I obviously think differently. I'm not going to tell you my opinions of it yet. You'll have to tune in next. It should come out in the next couple of days, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Not sure when, but it's gonna be I'm just gonna bring, like he said, he's gonna bring me some clarity. I'm gonna bring him a moment of clarity. I'm gonna show and prove to every single one of you that Mark Sanchez should get more respect than he actually gets. It's actually really disrespectful, the amount of hate that Mark Sanchez gets. And honestly, I'm tired of it, and you as football fans should be tired of it. I'll just say what I've been saying for the longest. Mark Sanchez was the most accomplished quarterback the Dallas Cowboys had since Troy Aikman. That's just the truth. But sometimes people, they let sometimes they let their emotions and they just want to be idiots, pretty much, and that's what JT is. He's an idiot. So we love him, but he's an idiot. So
okay.
And to help us, not kill each other, we are gonna have basically a moderator for this epic epic episode because this will be epic, and we're gonna be hyping this up all on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, all that crap. We're gonna be hyping this up. I'm even gonna try to get Mark Sanchez involved. I will get Mark Sanchez to listen to this episode. That happens because
let's get him on the show. I mean, let's take it one step further.
I'm trying to get him on the show, but we'll see. You know, I've been in contact with his representatives. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to. Okay, but we will have a moderator to help calm us down and to stop us from just killing each other. My boy Eric, he is our Facebook moderator. He's going to be joining the show for the first time, and he's going to be, like I said, moderating us, making sure we stay on topic and don't be attacking each other and killing each other. So look forward to that. That's going to be our very next episode. It's going to probably drop Wednesday or Thursday, so look out for that. And other than that, man, I mean, I think, and also expect some great things from the NBA. There's a lot of crazy more shit happening. I predict some more stuff happening. I also got some reviews coming out for you guys. I got the review for the third AEW wrestling show that happened, Fight for the Fallen, coming out. Also have another episode of When the Real Gets Rough coming out. JT, you got anything for the people coming out?
July 20th, Manny Pacquiao fights Keith Thurman. So I'm going to be reviewing that fight. It's a bigger fight than what people realize, and I will get into that after the fight. So stay tuned for that.
Cool. Well, that was our NFL preview. Well, the part one of our NFL preview. Like we said, NFC West, AFC East, first two divisions in football. We'll get to the next two next week. So there you go. All right. Well, that's another episode of the Daddy Fino Flash podcast with your boys, Daddy Fino and JT Flash. We out you. Peace.
Peace.